This video is going to be talking all about the Whitley LMG that has just been added in with Warzone Season 2 of the Pacific update, and we're going to be going over what is the best class setup. If you do enjoy content like this, don't forget to sub to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. Click the link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel. But let's get on into this class setup. We will be pairing this with the own gun build, and I will go over that build too, but obviously we'll get into what you're here for first, which is the Whitley LMG. Now, I'm going to go over this build and we're going to explain why we've chosen certain attachments, and these are predictions based on what are the most important attachments for LMGs inside Warzone currently, especially for vanguard weapons, of course. And also we need to take into consideration that we did get some nerfs and buffs to certain attachments too. If you do want to check out all the patch notes, I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one. But when it comes to the muzzle, you do want to use the mercury silencer for the sound suppression as well as the recoil control. That is probably one of the main reasons why we use the mercury silencer pretty much every single time. When it comes to the barrel, we want to use the Gracie Mark 9 barrel. This is going to help the best with recoil control, but it also gives you a bonus to bullet velocity, which is really nice to see on the barrels as well. Now, the other barrels help with fire rate, movement speed. This one helps with bullet velocity and accuracy, but also hurts your aim down sight time, movement speed, and all those kind of things. But it doesn't give you that extra kind of like recoil control, which is kind of annoying thing about it. Then you do get fire rate with the Gracie rapid barrel, but again, that is if you want to build the weapon differently. Now, the meta builds for LMGs are usually long range, so that's why we use the Gracie Mark 9. When it comes to optic, the G16 optic is the best in my opinion. They did adjust the way the optics look on screen, so again, you'll need to take that in consideration when choosing your favorite optics. I do still think the G16 is the best. When it comes to the stock, I do think the R4 stock is the best one. Now, there is a couple that can be used here. You can use the Gracie EM3, but it helps with initial recoil and recoil recovery, but it cons the accuracy with sustained fire. So that's why I would stay away from this one. Cooper adjustable's okay if you're leveling up the weapon. The Gracie EK8 is actually not a bad option. It just kind of cons your movement overall, but it doesn't really help with recoil control. The R4 is probably the best, like I said, and we've got the padded one as well, which helps with if you're mounting the weapon. But again, most of the time we're going to be ADSing just normally, so the R4 will be the best here. Then when it comes to PERK, hard scope is the best option here, let's be perfectly honest. You can use sleight of hand if you want to reload quicker, but I do still think you want that recoil control. Fully loaded polymer grip is pretty much always going to be the best option when it comes to long range rifles. It did get a bit of a nerf, but it's still going to be the solid option at controlling the recoil, especially when you keep firing for long periods of time. And that kind of really goes for LMGs because you're going to get bigger mags. And as you can see here, we're going to go for the 120 round box mags. Now, it doesn't change your fire rate, it doesn't change your damage, but it does give you a larger mag capacity, which is really what you want to see here. Some do help with the recoil control and the fire rate, but then you get less bullet velocity, which is kind of annoying, and less damage. So you kind of need to weigh up your pros and cons here, but I do still think the box mags, the 120 rounds, will be the better option. When it comes to ammunition, lengthened is the way I would go for the better bullet velocity, especially considering this is a long range gun. And then for the underbarrel, the M1 hand stop is what I would recommend, or you can go for the strife angled grip as well. Both are really good options. Now, we are pairing this with the own gun, and the own gun is a solid SMG in this game. If you picked up from ground loot, you know what I'm talking about. Season 1, this gun actually was really good. So you do want to use a recoil booster for the faster fire rate. Faster fire rate means a faster TTK, so recoil booster always for vanguard weapons. When it comes to the barrel, I actually choose to go for no barrel because this one actually gives you better headshot damage but less body damage. This gives you a faster fire rate but less overall damage as well. And it also cons your aim down sight time and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of annoying really, especially for an SMG. And this one is going to reduce your headshot damage, so you're really not winning with any of the barrels on the own gun. When it comes to optics, you need to choose a slate reflector or something that is a low zoom. There's no iron sights for this gun, so that's kind of the only annoying thing. You can choose the base iron sights, but they're not the best. Then when it comes to the stock, you want to choose the removed stock, and that is because it's going to give you the better overall movement speeds. Now, when it comes to optics, actually, you can go for the optic that gives you this one right here, because it actually pushes down the mag so it doesn't block off half of your screen. The only issue is it does con your aim down sight time, so that is something you kind of need to take into consideration. But if you do want the better viewing angle, then like I said, that other optic that I recommended was a better option. When it comes to PERK, steady is my favorite. I do think it is the best option here, better for the movement speeds. Fully loaded. When it comes to the rear grip, you actually want to use the grooved grip, and that's going to give you better strafing speeds and horizontal recoil control, and you want to be able to dodge bullets as well as obviously hit your shots. When it comes to the mags, you want to use the 72 round Grenco mags for the faster fire rate. Faster fire rate when it comes to the SMG mags is always the faster TTK, so you will get a better TTK with that option. Pretty much 90% of the time. Some SMGs are exceptions. Hollow point rounds, now that the incendiary got nerfed, so I think hollow point's a better option. And how slow the ADS is on this weapon, I would recommend the skeletal underbarrel, because the ADS is pretty slow, and that is the best build for the own gun. When it comes to perks, using EOD, Overkill, Combat Scout, Semtex, and Stims, because they're pretty overpowered. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to sub to the channel, as we're trying to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. We will be making stats content on the 2 new weapons, but there is a lot of other changes with the existing weapons as well, so be patient with us. We will have stats content out very soon, and thank you very much for watching.